Good morning, Dave here. It is September the 14th, and it's a little past time for my September garden update or garden tour. So I will turn the camera around and let's get started. Here's my biochar. What's left of it, I used some in the garden. I charged it with horse manure, and now I have some rabbit pellets on top of there too. Here's some tomatoes that I left to sprawl. I didn't put them in the on a trellis or anything, and they actually did quite well. Also have some buckwheat growing in them. The buckwheat goes to seed, and then those seeds will actually just fall and replant. I'll show you another bed where I've actually cut them down and put them underneath the wood chips for some green manure. Here's a hugelkultur bed that I have replanted with some fall things like lettuce, and that might be radish. Here's some Egyptian spinach finally growing that the rabbits didn't get. And then there's still some green beans that are finally starting to grow. I think the rabbits probably had nibbled them off too. Comfrey. There's a cucumber vine here still alive. It's got powdery mildew, but it hasn't killed it yet. Another hugelkultur bed. Also has buckwheat and zinnia flowers. I love zinnias, they're so pretty and easy to grow. Let's see, I've got a raised bed here. It also has Egyptian spinach. I had gourds planted all along here. I think the vine borer must have even gotten the gourds, because there's only one plant that's still growing. So, don't know what kind of gourd that's going to be, but I guess we'll see. I do have some arugula growing, and my green beans here are just starting to recover from that rabbit. Here's some basil, some onions. I believe these are Tokyo onions that I got from Ray at Praxis. There's a carrot that I should pull up. There's some Swiss chard in there too. My granddaughter Michelle's flower garden with zinnias, and of course the sunflowers are a little past their prime. Need to start getting the seeds out of there. Looks like the birds are starting to help themselves. Okay, and here's the Malabar spinach. As you can see, I am having tons of seeds on these things. I'm wondering if I got so many seeds because I kept picking the leaves so consistently all summer. This is actually a bean that's grown up with it. The Malabar leaves are like a darker green. Get out of the sun here. Darker green. And we've been eating those raw and also juicing them. Mexican sunflower. My asparagus tops are dying down. There's the row of tomatoes that I planted close to the surface, and I'm actually letting them get more ripe than I should. I should be pulling them off when they're orange so that the plant will keep producing. I've gotten a lot of these banana peppers off of this plant that I've been juicing those also and eating them just raw. There's a larger Egyptian spinach plant. Here's a fig tree start that I just put this in the ground, and this is the only one that's really sprouting out. I put a whole bunch in the ground here and at our property, and I haven't visited the property, so this is the only one I know that's really sprouting out so well. Most of them look like this, which actually that looks like it might have a little bud just starting right there. So maybe those will come out too. Some onions. Here's my fall garden bed that I prepared, putting comfrey under the soil, under the mulch, and comfrey and composted horse manure and regular compost and biochar. But either the slugs or snails have gotten most of what I planted, or that's probably what happened, or the seeds didn't come up. Show you something really huge. That would be my Jerusalem artichokes. Look at those things. They are way up there. They actually got so tall I had to tie them up. I put some string around the big stalks and looped it around to the fence around a couple of these. Here are some okras. This is the size that I really like to eat the okra, when it's nice and small like that, because it's nice and tender. Here's another fall bed I've started. Those are daikon radish. A couple rows of daikon, then a row or two of regular radishes. And I also planted carrots in here, which are just starting to come up. They take longer to germinate. Here's another row of tomatoes that I did put up in cages. This is some cinnamon basil, which I didn't really like the flavor of it. I haven't used it for cooking. I mostly just eat it or juice it. And I think I like the regular basil a little better. Oh, I missed my pepper plants here. These are jalapeno. When they get all, when they get these marks on them, like old wrinkles, I guess you would say, they get really hot. Here's some down here that are even turned red. They get really, really hot. And I got a lot of peppers in here. I've been juicing these and eating them. Got a couple plants. I had cucumbers here. There's only one plant that's still surviving from the powdery mildew, and you can see it has a lot of it on it too. Need to be more proactive in taking care of that. And I didn't really pick my pole beans, just let them go to seed. They're starting to die down too. And there's my strawberry patch, getting ready for next year. Alright, I guess that's the major things of the garden. I did want to show one other thing, and that is the bed where I planted the buckwheat this summer, and then I cut it under and put mulch and compost back on top and planted some fall things in there too. The buckwheat has actually sprouted since I cut it down and put mulch and topsoil, or not topsoil, mulch and compost on top of it. So I thinned it out a whole lot because it was really coming up thick. I planted all kinds of things in here. There's Swiss chard, there's kale, I put mesclun, guess that's how you say it, mesclun green mixtures down here. I believe I planted regular lettuce. Then I got radishes around the edges. So this has a large variety. And I've been juicing the buckwheat. There's some sprouts that I picked this morning. I'm getting ready to go in and pick some more things and start our juice for the day. Alright, so that's it for September. Have a blessed day, and I will see you next time.